another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live?
Live at lunch, live at Doe's Eat Place here on this Tuesday. Jimmy Ott along with Max Gautreaux. Charlie Hennegrove has the much-deserved week off. So, yes, he has been quite helpful, you know. And, geez, it's been a semester. Is in summer for me to say the least. I certainly will talk about my dad's services in the week that we had, but my goodness, thank you. I mean, it's been unbelievable, the outpouring of support, consideration, just the love for that man who had a full life. So, Rohan, and I'm going to lean on Rohan for this because, we matched him, and it was Nick Saban's first year at LSU when, one of my dad's kids who wasn't going to play football, but he was a St. Aug kid. His uncle played in the NBA. He was going to play basketball. A lot of them young ones, they think they're going to be basketball. Rohan thought he was going to be a basketball star in Miami as well. But Rohan's first start for Saban. Tennessee was number 6 in the country. It's a wild one. Saturday night game in Tiger Stadium. So kind of a top 10 SEC team, not on the regular rotation, comes in. It goes overtime. And first play from overtime, Rohan Davey hits Robert Royal, one of my dad's kids, for the 25-yard touchdown. It stands as Damian James breaks up the Ainge pass to preserve the top 10 victory. And that was one of 3 games that they rushed the field that year. So it was a lot of last possession wins in Saban's first year at LSU. Had an overtime game against Mississippi State. They had a thriller against Alabama that was late. That broke the streak. But that was just one of them. So when Rohan gets here, we'll let him. But when you outlive most of your friends, teammates, colleagues, and there's still the amount of people that come to pay their respects. Hey, man, it's that's all you can live for. So I mean, it really just so many of you reached out to me, came to the services yesterday, and I appreciate it. So, and it was no mistake that that Max and Charlie were there. For the services, and also for the reception after at pretty neat Cafe Hope, which is for a nonprofit, a pretty damn neat nonprofit that they have going on at Timberlane Country Club. So that was a great time, and all the stories. I thought I knew all the stories, but I picked up on a lot as well. Max, thanks for coming yesterday and showing your support, sir.
No, it was awesome. It was a great service. Loved your words you spoke. I learned a few things while I was there, which is great. I didn't even know Mr. Al was a basketball coach. Read up on that.
Oh,
I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, indeed.
But, it was great to see the showing, and it was a really great service.
He would, we would go into some of those inner city gyms, and they were tough. Some of the projects like Woodson Junior High and some others, and we'd go in there, and my dad would tell his players, "Don't you dare flinch." I mean, it was the things being shouted from the stands to the officiating to this to the windows being bashed to the bus when we get out. I mean, it was. And my dad was the loudest one in there. I mean, it was just something. So he had some stuff. But Rohan will be here in just a little bit. Boy, do I have to put you in no class? You don't want to profit. You don't want to profit when you got a plus price. You give me Emiliano Grillo. Do they call him Grillo a lot? Grillo?
Yeah, some people can't say it. So, it's fair.
But it's a name. Does he really pronounce it like that? I would find it hard to believe.
I would say Grillo.
Where's he from?
I say. He's Argentinian.
Absolutely, that's Grillo.
Grillo.
I mean, ain't nobody in Argentina saying Grillo.
No.
But anyway, this is what you do, though. So you have hit more times than you win. It's a true hedge. It's not a middle. So you had a plus price, too, with Campbell.
Yeah, Brian Campbell.
Because then you had time to say, okay, because it's about a 15-minute break.
Pretty much, they
when-
got to sign the scorecard, drive them back to the 18th tee. So yeah,
But,
there's
but I
plenty
mean,
of time.
when Lipsky misses his putt to when they hit their first driver, it's about 15 minutes. It's a pause. It's definitely a break. So you have time. It's not like you're trying to chase and these odds are all of a sudden. Well, this guy's probably going to hit a bad shot, kind of deal. Because we're a shot behind
Right.
usually, in golf because it takes a little time, but. But you don't want to profit.
No,
Pay the bills.
I did
man,
not
huh?
hedge.
Yeah.
I had a lot of money. We profited very well early in the season, so I'm still up for the year. But it might be different if I was down and I needed some cash. At this point. But my idea is that Sam Burns didn't hedge really much there in the Canadian Open. He was in a playoff. That was another one of our guys.
Right.
He
right.
loses. Ideally, you get one of the two, and then you don't really need a hedge. Unfortunately, this is the situation that you don't want. This is the one you fear, is that you go 0 for 2 in playoffs, and then, the missing on the hedge, you miss twice.
Did Burns miss that putt in regulation or playoff?
The
Remember
5-foot putt, I believe, was
I think it was like on 18, maybe.
on
to
18,
win
the
it.
72nd hole.
It wasn't.
So.
It wasn't a playoff.
I think it was the 72nd hole. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, Griot, makes a mess of the first playoff hole, hits it in the rough, gets a flyer lie, airmails the green, doesn't chip it on the green. And Brian Campbell, who has 2 top 30 finishes this year, both of them being victories. It's a crazy season he's put up. He's got more missed cuts than he does weekends at this point. But at least you got to give him credit. When he gets in the mix, he makes the most of it. And he's a closer. He's not a long hitter. He's one of the shortest hitters, the second shortest hitter on the PGA Tour.
Really?
But certain setups like this one, that driving distance doesn't matter too much, he's able to make the most of.
So this layout was not. It wasn't bomber friendly.
No,
like it
it's
was the week before.
Tree lined, dog legs, not a whole lot of holes that you can really let it rip. Accuracy is certainly more favorable. I actually took a 1,001 shot last week on Paul Peterson, who's the shortest hitter on tour. Unfortunately, he missed the cut on the number, but the second shortest hitter on tour ends up getting the victory.
So and you had some Roy as well.
Yeah, Kevin Roy, who finished one out of the playoff, he's trending in the right direction, trying to keep his PGA Tour card. That's the kind of season we're in. Unfortunately, the next 2 weeks are the best part of the golf season until pretty much it's kind of over. You get the playoffs, which are cool, but let's be honest, the Scottish Open, the British Open, that's kind of the end of the golf season.
Most of them are playing in the British Open prelim, the Scottish Open this weekend.
Scottish, yeah, there are a few outliers, but yeah, for the most part, it's a pretty big event. DP World Tour, it's a
Genesis sponsor, pretty strong, huh?
Yeah. It used to be an elevated event. I don't think it is anymore.
Really?
The last elevated event already happened, but yeah, there's a good field. Scheffler will be playing. I think Rory's playing.
All
the
the
top
live,
names.
all the live guys will be playing in the British, but not the Scottish.
Yes, the Scottish is a PGA Tour and DP World Tour sanctioned event, so you won't see any. You might see a couple live guys just because they have some connections to DP World Tour, but live has an event this week, so they won't be playing.
All right, we moving from one country club sport to the next. It's the summertime, but Wimbledon has been upset. I mean, the chalk where you kind of, let's put 3 or 4 of these big favorites together and, get basically like even money or something. That hadn't been the best route. I mean, it is, for the first week, and I was watching on Sunday. I got a chance to watch a little bit, and 11 of the top 20 seeds, so the top 10 in the men, top 10 in the women, more than half had already been eliminated. That's unbelievable for the first. But I think the biggest thing is, arguably the biggest highlight of the 2025 this year's sporting year was that French Open final between Alcaraz and Sinner, and there was nothing that showed us any indication that it's going to be anything different. And then out of nowhere, and this is completely different because I get on a lot of tennis players because sometimes the quote-unquote retirement is
It's quitting. Yeah.
You don't retire. You don't quit when you got the number one player in the world, Sinner, down 2-0, and you tied in the third. That was crazy. Sinner gets a real break, and the thing about it is, he's not playing back. No, he might not struggle like that again. He probably won't, actually. And then Taylor Fritz, who's been trying to break through, has been a top 10 American, had a great draw, so he's going to get to play this guy instead of That was bizarre yesterday. up 2 sets to none and tied in the third. It was 2-all in the third, I believe. And the guy retires and gives center a walkover.
He literally just won his second game. So he just held serve. It was 2-2 in the third set. Dimitrov, who has a long injury track record, this is the 5th consecutive Grand Slam tournament that he's retired from. It's unfortunate for him. Looks like a torn pec, so that might be a real problem for him going forward. But, yeah, terrible for Dimitrov. You could sense how Sinner said the right things. You know, it was a tough way to win, but it's a tough draw for Ben Shelton, who now gets the world number 1 in Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, so, but now it's I mean, Alcaraz, just because of the scare, has to get more of a favorite moving forward, right?
I would think so. Just because they're playing right now, we're not seeing that. Alcaraz is underway on the center court right now against Cameron Norrie, so we're not seeing live odds. But, yes, you would think Alcaraz has a better chance. He'll draw Taylor Fritz if he advances to the semifinals.
We got some information on the MLB draft as well as, boy, it looks like, but all of a sudden, the Washington Nationals, who have the number 1 pick, and they're trying to decide between Jackson Holliday's little brother, Matt Holliday's youngest son, out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. He's a bigger guy than Jackson, bigger, stronger. A corner infielder as opposed to a middle infielder between he and Cade Anderson. But they don't have a GM. They don't have a manager right now for their input as well. And so the GM kind of taking some shots at ownership on the way out through the Washington Post as well. Andy Esco, he's got some future bets and exacta, some football bets. We'll talk about 11:30. First, second, no class at noon. Brian Edwards from VegasInsider.com. He has some future bets. Talking the SEC, we're going to talk a lot of SEC football and his homeboys, the Florida Gators, to see if, Sunbelt Billy did. I mean, Rohan and I were talking about, we were doing shows at Beau Rivage last year. We're like, one thing about them, these guys they have not quit. And he might not, be around to reap the benefits, but they didn't quit, so there's something to be said for that. But, man, I'm glad you got a chance to come down and just hear a little bit about my past, man, where I come from, huh?
Hey, that was unexpected, right? But to sit around and hear all the stories, man, the apple fritters, man, the Snicker bars and Cokes at halftime. You know what I mean? It was, bruh, I see why, bruh, why you are who you are, the family you come from, the guy that you called your hero.
Yeah.
Man, it was hearing and sitting around, like I said, I didn't play for your dad. And so to sit around and hear Rob tell all the stories, I mean, even after we left that place, you know what I mean? And to hear Pat Surtain and Herb and just a plethora of other players that all of them saying the same message. Bruh, that's why coaches, there is no monetary value. There's nothing you can put on the impact your dad had on those guys and just coaches in general.
Yes. And, and the part that I missed as I eulogized him, and, he made it very clear. Don't read from no script, boy. You speak from the heart. And the imperfections that's fine. But I did want to share one story that I will now on how he wanted to be the first in his family to attend college.
Yeah.
And so he wanted that. And so, okay, fine. He's going to get a college scholarship for football. Now, this is true. He averaged over 30 points a game in basketball. Okay, so he coached a lot of basketball too, but he gets hurt a week or two before his senior season. The recruiting is done during that season at that era.
Yeah.
So he's not. His coach, who is a football and basketball coach, Harry Hahn, tells him, he says, I know you think you're good in basketball, but you're 5'9". You're not getting a college scholarship to play basketball. What you have to do is drop out of school for the fall semester, re-enroll in the spring, and you're eligible next football season. He says, so I got to go home and tell my mom I'm dropping out of school for a few months. And yes, so he did it. So in that era, they had, in December, after the state championships, they had a high school all-star game, the high school all-stars versus the Marines, a Toys for Tots Bowl. He's got the itch. He wants to play. He plays under a fictional name, Bucky Andre. So as the announcer is saying at City Park, saying at Gormley, goes, tackle by Bucky Andre, tackle by Bucky Andre. And the college coaches who are scouting, they're like, who the hell is Bucky Andre? I don't have him on my sheet. I don't have him. Who's my? That ain't Bucky Andre. That's freaking Al Ott. And so he won the MVP, and they go to interview him after, and he goes, I can't talk. I got to go. I got to go. He didn't want to get caught and get in eligible. And then he came back the next year and got the scholarship offer to LSU. So
that is unbelievable.
Yeah. Bucky Andre. But he wanted. He had a different path. He had to go to
like
be the first.
Yeah.
So he saw in a lot of those kids, hey, you got some ability. I got a chance if I push you in the right direction. You could be the first in your family to attend college.
And
you see so many coaches now and players. So a lot of kids. He saw a little bit of that. So I thought it was important to
He also, man, just from listening to those guys, he understood every individual. You know what I mean? And I always say that's so important for you to know every person on your team. If you're the coach, you got to talk to him. You got to have a conversation with him. You got to talk to him more than just football. And all those guys were telling stories. Not one of them was a football story.
That's right. It was not about winning or losing the game. It was a life. Yes.
Yeah, they talked about camaraderie and coming together at your home and how your dad's home was open to everybody and how the crawfish boys and how they were in the back lot that he converted into a playground for you guys and how they all were there and it was nothing about winning or losing. And might I add, he was 70-4.
Yeah.
Let's not leave that out.
Frank Wilson said, damn, I forgot he was 70-4.
Golly,
so, man, thank you for being there.
I wouldn't have missed it, bro.
No, and because you are such a warm person. And, we've got to know through athletics, but, you're my boy. So
that's right.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. We'll move on. We'll take a time out. Live at lunch, live at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
We are here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his blue period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
You've heard me talk about Workbox services and how they can handle all of your movable storage needs for both commercial and residential. With our shipping containers of all sizes, customized in any way that you need or desire. Now Martin Padialis expanded his coverage outside the Baton Rouge area. Workbox can now service the Gulf Coast and New Orleans areas all the way to Lake Charles. Our staff at Workbox continues to grow with Hannah, Martin Jr., Brandy, and Chris. Do like I did when I needed a movable storage unit. Call Workbox at 343-4886 or WorkboxLLC.com. You've heard me talk about Workbox services and how they can handle all of your movable storage needs for both commercial and residential. With our shipping containers of all sizes, customized in any way that you need or desire. Now Martin Padialis expanded his coverage outside the Baton Rouge area. Workbox can now service the Gulf Coast and New Orleans areas all the way to Lake Charles. Our staff at Workbox continues to grow with Hannah, Martin Jr., Brandy, and Chris. Do like I did when I needed a movable storage unit. Call Workbox at 343-4886 or WorkboxLLC.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Joe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jimmy Rohan, Davey, Max Gotro with you. We'll talk to Andy Iskoe in just a little bit. So, Ro, we talked a lot of football with a lot of guys yesterday, but, you know, get a little bit starting to hear some of the what are we supposed to expect this year from LSU?
Hey.
I mean, we got Nuss. I mean, you know, he should be a little bit more fine-tuned in his second year.
Yeah.
So we know he's got arm talent.
I'm going to tell you the
my
biggest
good-
thing that I saw yesterday, Jimmy. I forgot what I was strolling. What's a lot of damn quarterbacks in the SEC that's decent?
Yes.
It's
yes.
a lot of decent quarterbacks in the SEC this year, man. You know, and the kids that we were talking about last year with inconsistencies, such as Florida, some of these other places. I mean, now these guys are in their second year and coming back in the SEC. I think it's going to be a really good year for SEC quarterback play.
South Carolina
Yeah.
and some non-traditional
Correct.
or lower expectation
You got
programs
the kid
like
Vanderbilt coming back.
Diego Vanderbilt. Diego Vanderbilt. I mean,
Man.
South
Langwall,
Carolina. I love
Florida.
Lenora Sellers.
Oh, I love Sellers.
Help
You
me
know
out.
that.
The kid from who had a great bowl
What's the
game from
kid at
Arkansas.
Taylor Green.
Yeah, Green.
Langwall, Florida.
Lagway.
Lagway.
The Tulane, he really struggled throwing the ball. Okay, Tulane was without all their players. It was just a matter of time. But can he take that next step
I think so.
as a thrower?
I think so.
Because he's got the intangibles, his leadership. Him being on the field made a difference.
No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah.
You could tell that he's one of the guys, he's the quarterback where the guys rally around.
Uh-huh.
Now, we saw in spurts before he got injured to throw. Now, let's see if he's worked on it in the offseason and how he comes out and gets better. But, I mean, the leader of the pack, man, is our guy. The leader of the pack is our guy, Nussmeier, for sure. I'm seeing him several times throughout this offseason. And let me say this. The same focus Joe Burrow had, the same focus Jaden Daniel had going into their second year after starting, I think he has that same focus. Now, whether or not it transitions, which I think it should, if the talent that they've brought in stays healthy, I think it should. We got to question, see what they do with the offensive line and how those guys gel together. But, bruh, he has been working his behind.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, Coach.
Okay.
I'm talking about, I don't care if it's a recruiting weekend and they got recruits all in the indoor and half of the indoor is just hosting. He's in the back throwing with Hilton, throwing with all those guys. I mean, he has been He's at elite working. He's working his behind off.
Seems
Coach.
like Hilton resolved some of his little kind of technical issues, being jump happy with the ball for no reason, things like that. I was talking to his high school coach, David Brewerton. He said the thing that makes him special, like, man, the first 8-10 yards, he's
It's
at full
over.
speed.
That's right.
He's popping out,
That's right.
so quick. And, man, you see it. I mean, and the additions with the wide receiving core, too, they got weapons.
They got weapons,
And don't they have
Coach.
speed?
They
That
got speed.
LSU speed?
They got
That
speed.
when are really good.
And I love the two tight ends. Of course, the big fella and the kid that we brought
Tradez.
in. Tradez, he's going to be special. He's going to have a special year, I think. He's actually going to be the one, in my opinion, and the other tight end, the transfer.
Bauer Sharp from Oklahoma, yeah.
Okay.
I love him.
What do you
love
like about him?
Coach, strong, physical, very confident, and
Okay.
great hands, man.
Okay.
Great route runner, great hands, has a swag about himself as if he knows he's coming to a group that he can be productive in. And the other thing I like, all the teams I've been on, Coach, whether or not the one thing that you always saw was how the guys work together, how they got along together. These guys fish together. These guys go out together.
Okay.
These guys do things together. I'm talking about this group. Now, I don't know about the others. I'm talking about this group right here, the wide receiver,
Right.
tight end, quarterback. They're gelling and they're doing all the things right now that you need to do to
So
be
they're doing some
successful.
of those Joe Burrow
Yes, sir.
off-season,
Yes,
putting
sir.
in the work.
Yes, sir.
Because there's so much
Yes,
chemistry
sir.
and timing, and it's big.
And he's new, he's new. The other kid
Right.
that came in, a bunch of those guys are new guys. The kid from Kentucky, what's his name?
Barry and Brown.
Barry and Brown.
Yeah.
I love him too.
Fast.
What's he did?
Explosive.
Special
Okay,
teams, too.
more speed.
Explosive. And the thing I like about him, the first time I met him was over at Elite. And personality. Just
Oh.
a personality.
Okay.
And wanting to know, like, the history of LSU. You know what I mean? Wanting to know the guys that was there before.
He's excited to be part of this
Yes, he's
program.
excited.
Well, which is
Yes.
kind of missing in the. Bottom line, what are you paying me to come play here?
That's right. That's
know,
right. That's
I
right.
know we talk.
And I know that part that goes.
That's
part
fine.
of it.
That's
yeah.
fine.
But he's excited to be here. You know what I mean? He's excited to be here. Those running backs. I mean, talking about explosive. Those kids are working, man, and I'm just excited. I ain't gonna lie to you now. I wish Clemson wasn't the opening act.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me say that. But it's gonna be a great test when these guys get on the field to see right where we are immediately.
With LSU struggles in the first game,
I know.
how can that help you in the offseason? I mean, does that make you, when you play such a quality opponent in a tough spot to play, you're going to be underdog in the game, but I mean, that's got to tune you. I mean, like, the one I think about the most is, I mean, that was a damn good Oregon team in 2011 that they ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
And it was part of having, that's the positive when you can win it, but it's also dug a hole for LSU getting to the playoff or having to, by losing these games the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, when you start out with the offer, and to your first point, though, with Clemson being the first ones on the schedule, you would think that, you would know that the coaches and the players have a linear focus. And then knowing that you've dropped the first game of the last few seasons, you know what I'm saying, as far as under the Kelly regime, I'm sure that's something that he wants to change too as well, these coaches. And at the same time, hell, you get off to a fast start and jump on Clemson, then, look, now the expectations are going to go through the roof when it comes to that. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as how well he did in his first year here. They were like, hell, we're going to have a national championship in the next couple of years. You're doing this well. So it's going to be the same thing. I think knowing that they've dropped it the last few years, knowing that it is Clemson, which would be a top 10, probably top 5 ranked team, I think that they're going to be focused on coming out, especially with these young guys and Nuss at the QB. Nuss, and this like I told him, listen, grab him by the face, do whatever you need to do to get him right. This is your thing, baby.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is your thing. All that nice.
You see that in him?
Oh, yeah, Coach. Part of it,
You got to get comfortable before
yeah,
you start
that's
doing it.
right.
You just can't do
That's
it.
right.
Can't be
and you got to
phony.
get to know them.
Right.
And they got to also see that you want it, how you work, and so on and so forth. So you can't just go up to a Barry and just grab him right away right now because he wants to see how you get down if you living up to the billing. But once you show that, and he has that now, go ahead and grab him up.
Max Nussmeier, favorite to be first pick, or is that Manning?
Arch Manning still depends where you look. You know, I don't think Arch is coming out.
No, I
but
don't
they
either.
Still have
we
those
talked about that.
odds.
What are they in a hurry for? You know, I mean, he's going to be compensated fine, and
That's
I mean,
right.
we've seen it a million times. I mean, they usually stay there the whole time, and man, that coming out after just 1 year, I don't care how good you think you are.
That's right.
It's not the best route to prepare you for the next level.
It's absolutely
so.
not.
There's no
25
rush.
starts.
I would be very, very surprised if he comes out after 1 year starting.
Nussmeier's the third option at the Queen. Drew Aller also ahead of him in the odds to go number 1 overall, which I
I've
would.
seen him in his second year already.
But,
So.
No,
I would say
if-
Nuss should not be the third choice.
If I'm in college football right now and I'm a quarterback, and I haven't gotten those 20, what the league wants, 25 starts at the position, and they paying me king's ransom.
I know. Yeah.
I'm saying, listen, coach. I'm gonna plant this right here, right in this chair, baby, for about 2 more years, and I'm gonna learn. You know what I mean? I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna get some more snaps. So when I jump to the NFL, it's easier.
Chad Reynolds, a legacy title for all of you real estate closings, 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our great team, Ashley Bonham-Donald, Mariana Broussard-Hayes, Adrian Reese-Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie, and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Chad Reynolds, a legacy title, 296-0060. Andy Isco from Las Vegas when we come back. He's got a couple of future football picks for us when we come back. It is live at lunch, live at Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, first batch comes out at 5 p.m. Weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
This is Charles Henniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soups, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway to Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Heading out to Las Vegas, deep in the desert, lives one man. One man of many sports bets. The one and only Andy Iskoe.
Andy, how you doing, my friend?
Jimmy, welcome back. Again, condolences on the passing of your father. It's been the off season always seems shorter when you get to the start of training camp.
And we've got a lot of things, kind of, a lot of moving parts as usual. This is a worst to first and first to worst league. It's a year to year league. The biggest thing is, the lack of, the respect for the teams with consistency and quality at the quarterback position and vice versa. So, it's also kind of, who's that team that's going to make that jump this year? Who's going to be that Washington? Who's going to be the Detroit of a couple of years ago? Who's going to, so, and then, the teams that are going to decline as well. So tell us what you got brewing, man. I know you got a couple of Super Bowl exactas that you're looking at.
Yeah, I haven't played them all yet. I did play a couple. I did make, as I mentioned to you, I think in the text, I also made a couple of plays in week one, again, based upon how I expect these teams to start the season. The first, and I think I may have mentioned this before, I played the Bears pick'em over the Minnesota Vikings on what's surprisingly just the single Monday night game this year after starting the season with double headers in recent years. You have to look at J.J. McCarthy as a rookie quarterback, and he's going to make his NFL regular season debut on the road, which is always difficult, going up against a team now coached by Ben Johnson, who knows the Vikings from and the Vikings defense as well from his days as coach, as coordinator at Detroit, and preparing to attack the Minnesota defense with Jared Goff, etc. So I think there are a lot of edges for the Bears, including a lot of the talent that they've acquired to surround Caleb Williams. The one thing, of course, that the Bears have to do is work on, I'm not going to say protecting him, although that is part of it, but having him avoid, what do you have, something like 68 sacks last year, which was horrible. That's his competitive spirit, though. He got away with those things in college, but it's a lot different at the NFL level, and they have to teach him a little bit more about sometimes it's wisest to just throw the ball away and not concede 15 yards. Concede the down, not the distance.
It's a perfect day for Rohan Davey, former NFL quarterback, LSU and NFL quarterback, with us today. But first of all, Williams, because he sort of compounded those losses by not getting rid of the ball and then running back in, instead of a 6-yard loss, he's getting like 13, 15-yard losses. Yeah. But he had such poor protection. They've addressed that in the offseason. Can he he's going to be better. Yeah. Just how much better, Ro?
Well, I hope significantly better, especially going into this year. But what he has to overcome this year, and it goes back to both your points, is him having a happy feet because he wasn't being protected last year. Uh-huh. So he has to make sure, and you sure this up in training camp, by him knowing exactly that, hey, this is not the same thing as last year. I am going to be protected, and you know what? His other problem is he has to find his check downs quicker.
Okay.
Once you get into trouble, you have to, Bill always talk. Yeah. Number one, number two, not there. who's your mismatch? And your mismatch 9 times out of 10 is that back on the linebacker. So that's built in for him, and I know that's built in for him because I saw it a bunch last year where he was just trying to extend plays with his leg instead of just getting a dump down. And like you pointed out, don't lose 13. Give it to him, let him get 3 or even break a tackle and get more. But I think he's going to be better, especially because he's happy seeing how they're trying to surround him.
And real
with
quick,
talent.
the other one, Dylan McCarthy, he didn't play last year,
No.
but just being around, how much can he cut into that learning curve, or he doesn't cut into it at all? This is his.
The only
it's
thing
just like
that-
it's his first start on the road.
That's exactly right. The
Okay.
only thing that helps him is he's been there for the terminology, the verbiage, and all that. He knows the guys and all that. They have a familiarity with him, but there's no substitute for playing.
Andy, so Chicago, I kind of like that
Oh,
spot
and-
as well.
and by the way, one other thing about Caleb Williams, he's also going to get excellent coaching with Ben Johnson and the staff there that he didn't have
Yep.
in his rookie season, and that's got to count for a lot as well. In addition to what Rohan just said, knowing he's being protected, he's going to have even more confidence.
Yep.
That's our first Monday night game, so that'll be at Soldier Field for the Vikings and the Bears. What else you looking at, Andy?
Yeah, the other one is the game San Francisco at Seattle. I played the 49ers minus the 1 point. It's at 1.5, so you can buy it down to 1 if you want. Or I guess you could play San Francisco money line. It's not all that expensive. You know, this is, I think, what you would call a mission season for the 49ers, who had to be greatly disappointed and upset with last year. And, of course, a lot of it really had to do with injuries, especially the lingering McCaffrey injury that began the season and during the season. This is still a very talented team. They've shown the confidence they have in Brock Purdy with a nice contract extension. There's familiarity with some of the receivers. Yeah, some are gone and some are in, but this is also a team that has historically played very well on defense, and now they've got a familiar face back there. So, leading coaching the defense. So I think the 49ers. I honestly think, well, I'll get to this with my exact in a moment, but I honestly think the 49ers and the Rams are going to be the class of that division. I still think there's going to be a little growing pain with Seattle. And by the way, the 49ers have familiarity with Sam Darnold as well, although I do like Sam Darnold. And, it's hard to forget his experience with the Jets, but he's a better quarterback and has shown that since he left.
Well,
since he left the Meadowlands.
Such a big part of the season, they were great. I mean, they're 14-2 going into that do or die game for the division against the Lions. But he was really bad in that game, and he was really bad in the Rams. So he's really very more than solid. He was good, but the last two, that kind of kept the Vikings from taking the next step, bro.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too. And also, man, I think that they saw a lot in McCarthy. That they was like, okay, if Sam would have probably brought us to the championship game or possibly the Super, I think that was where he needed to take them in order to get that contract to come back there. I think they have a lot of confidence in that young kid, and I mean they're kind of carbon copies of each other, but he's just younger.
The thing with Darnold, it would have been nice for him to get that contract extension.
Yeah.
Take some of the pressure off of McCarthy to produce early. I mean, it's one thing to sit on the sidelines and learn from Darnold and the offense. It's another thing to actually be in there, get some playing time, knowing he doesn't have the pressure because he's got a capable back off, and that the guys have his back as a rookie.
All right, give us that Super Bowl exacta you're looking at.
Okay, I'm looking at a few, and my approach to this, and I've had success the last few years, and more books are putting them up now. And I had the Kansas City, Philadelphia exact this past year. I think the year before was San Francisco, Kansas City. I play them both ways, and I'm actually now maybe this is like a Hollywood type of story, but I played Chargers over Rams and Rams over Chargers.
See, I like the
Rams.
Chargers.
I've liked for the last few years, and. Look, McVay, he's been there 8 years. In his second year, he lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots. I think that was that 13-3 game. And then 3-4 years later, he won the Super Bowl over Cincinnati, one of the more entertaining Super Bowls, certainly in the second half of that game. And so he's quickly established himself as one of the top coaches in the NFL, certainly in the NFC, where you could argue that he's as good as anybody coaching in that conference right now. And you go back to Jim Harbaugh.
I like
him. He's been a winner everywhere he's been.
Second year.
He took over a San Francisco team that I think had maybe won 8-8 season,
Oh,
not had
yes.
a winning season like
Yeah.
the last 7-8 years. He took them, what were they, like 13-3 his first year, and he got them to the Super Bowl. That was a blackout Super Bowl down in New Orleans against his brother.
And he got the team
and the
before that,
Ravens.
Andy, to the NFC Championship game they hosted against
Yes.
the Giants when they lost in
Yeah,
overtime.
that's the one they
So,
lost, I think,
yeah.
17-10 or something like that. Yeah. So he's shown that he can do it. So, yeah, it sounds like it's a Hollywood story, but the odds, I've seen odds as high as 300-1 both ways on that.
Los
But, you know, look,
Angeles,
you're look-
the Los Angeles, all Los Angeles. Anybody knows you're all Hollywood, Andy. So I mean, you know, I mean Hollywood Andy, huh, Max? I mean, is that what you think about when we see Andy Esco?
Absolutely. First thing I think of.
my screen test destroyed the screen.
We look again. They're going to be better with Harbaugh in year 2. The other thing is he's got a stud. What is the deal with Herbert? Is he kind of feels you wanting a little bit more out of Harbaugh's probably the guy to get it out of him, huh?
How much did it have to do with the lack of coaching he got under Brandon Staley?
Yeah, man. Listen, I agree with you. San Diego was my choice. Is my choice as well. I think the Chargers are going to be fantastic. I think Harbaugh's a fantastic coach. I think his old school mentality that he brings, as far as that toughness inside the trenches, I think that only helps Herbert.
Oh, I don't think.
I think that
I
only.
think,
He's a
good running game
tremendous
this year, too.
play action quarterback. He's a tremendous downfield thrower and intermediate thrower of the football, and I think all of that is going to be. I think he's going to have a close to MVP season, man, this year for him. And I have high expectations for
Max,
the Chargers.
That playoff game last year was really disappointing.
It
for
was.
them. I mean,
It was.
It's kind of damning. You know, they
It was.
don't have much playoff success. 3 interceptions, I believe.
The
That was
Texans.
Against
Yeah.
Houston. That
it
was
was
a tough
rough.
one for him.
It was.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was.
no, that was.
And I hate to say this because I hate when other people say it, like you need to go through something like that and so on and so forth. But with him, because he's such a thrower and believes so much in his arms talent, he needs to go through something like that. Now, I wish it wouldn't have been in the playoffs.
And the
I wish it
Rams
was
were the
before.
only ones that were competitive
You know.
last year with the Eagles. There's no doubt they were right there.
And that was in the snow
Yeah.
in
So,
that game.
but
Yeah,
you
so,
know, it's
yeah,
Stafford is maintained a level that I didn't think he was. I thought he got the Super Bowl. He kind of like phoned it in after that. Man, he's been really good, man. You know, with basically the whole thing turning over from Whitworth, his protection to the weapons. I mean, everything. He is, just stay
and
healthy.
the defense around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you lose a guy like Donald. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
With quarterbacks, though, Jay, and I say this, like, as long as physically the arm is still there and you can still move a little bit, the mind only gets sharper as you're in it and over the years, such as Tom. So I put him right in that mold with Tom just getting better and better,
Follow Hollywood Andy at it's Vegas Andy. Vegas Andy 711 on Twitter. Andy, great stuff, man. Thank you for the kind words as well. I appreciate it.
Well, and welcome back, Jimmy, and hello to the entire group and all the folks out there. And let's get set for a great season. By the way, I'm sure you already know the Phil Steele book is out, and I think the Mark Lawrence book is coming out this week. The Lawrence book, of course, is great for betting information as far as trends, situations, scheduling, etc. And one of the things that people don't realize, and see in the front of the book, he's got a great detailed section on how coaches do in various situations, off a bye, with extra rest, things like that, as an underdog. And that's some very good information because I think people don't rate as highly as they should. Well, I've always maintained the quality of the overall organization, but especially the impact of coaches who are making so many decisions and know how to prepare. And you see that's why there's such a difference and why we see the same coaches in the playoffs with different teams year after year.
Got to
after year.
run, Andy. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. We will
Thanks,
talk
guys.
to you next week. Don't forget our friends at K&M Automotive, 4x4 services, AC repair, alignment, brakes, AC, and the engine light comes on, general services, tires, you name it. We could tow it in as well. Undercar services, transmission, you name it. It's the only place I'd take my vehicle at K&M Automotive. 8445 Segan Lane, Segan and Perkins, right across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery. They're open 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Hyundai, the only place I take my vehicle, because you're going to get an honest deal from my friend Jason Payne. K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins. Live at lunch, live at Doe's, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games. Just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Ruffino'sRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, big cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And there ain't no troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. With United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you're a partner. Contact Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Thunder Creed, David Campbell, or David Henry to discuss how we can help your business today. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 60 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jimmy, Charlie with the week off. Rohan Davey and Max Gotro.
Charlie at the beach, baby.
He hit the
With
beach.
the grandkids.
He loves it. No, tell him the deal with Charlie and the beach.
He just doesn't like the sand. That's the only thing. You know, he likes the beach, not the sand.
Look at Rohan's face.
What?
Yeah, you heard him right. He loves the beach, but he just doesn't like the sand. I mean, I'm just, Charlie.
Hey, but look, Charlie ain't gonna be able to feel the sand, so I know he ain't even worried about the sand. That's my guy.
Oh,
That's my
man.
guy.
Yes.
Charlie chilling, man. He got a nice little cocktail. He just hanging out. He chilling.
Yes, indeed. So it's with his annual beach
He
trip.
don't like to say it.
Yeah, my man. So don't forget, we've got First Second No. Max is throwing some stuff in there together. We'll kind of do some stuff as well, but we're kind of keeping a little bit eye on Wimbledon as well. And Alcaraz won the first set. He is playing TCU. My brother-in-law watches all the TCU crats out in Fort Worth, but Nori, and one of those. If you pay any attention to college tennis, you will know the international influence. And any college tennis coach, one thing they want to know, what is my international recruiting budget?
That's right.
And so we saw it on the women's side for LSU this year. Man, they jumped up into the top 10.
That's right.
Well, their three best players, two for Canada, one for Belgium, and boom, away to go. So, but Nori is a British player who was a TCU guy. You'll see the TCU gear. But Max Alcaraz showing no signs of
30?
Really. He looks like he's on track. I mean, dropped a set here or there, but he looks to be in
tough
form.
Tough first round matchup for him. Went 5 sets. But other than that, he's cruising. Now it's Cameron Norrie, the hometown British guy, has no chance. Let's be honest. Today.
Yeah, he's wiping him up pretty good. Hour number 1 is in the books as we continue here from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, live at Doe's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The number one.
Live at lunch.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources, we'll help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite, love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Divisional omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots, Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC. The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Crowstead, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Crowstead exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
This is Will Campbell with the Tigers. Louisiana National Bank is committing to making every interaction with its customers an experience that's more exceptional than any you've ever encountered. If you're looking for a teammate to help you achieve your financial dreams, come see one of the Louisiana National Bank's uncommon bankers. Equal housing lender. Member FDIC.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana-Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit als.org to learn more. That's als.org.
104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch, first class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
No man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
Life had become like school on Sunday. No class. I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Supreme Rice. Buy local with Louisiana-based Supreme Rice since 1936.
Man, we had they were putting some jambalaya on the food for the reception yesterday. I said, it's Monday. Red beans and rice.
They was
Come
off
on.
the chain, too.
The mayo, but that cornbread was good too,
Yeah.
with a little catfish or chicken. So, yes,
That's a good
indeed,
spread,
Supreme Rice. It's a staple at the outhouse each and every Monday. That Parball rice. Get that restaurant quality rice. That Parball rice. It's available wherever you find your Supreme Rice products. Max, what you got for us? First, second, no. I think I got a second. Kind of built off of some of our content from earlier on the show today as we continue here from Doe's Eat Place. Live at lunch, live at Doe's. You got anything at first class, Max?
Okay, I'll start off first class. We mentioned Mr. Al last week in first class, but certainly after yesterday. Why not? Once again, Mr. Al. It was a really good service and touching, and loved your words. So he's in first class again this week. But another one, while I was away this weekend, it was really sad news for me. I'm a Liverpool FC fan. And,
the guy died. How did he die?
Diego Jota was in a car accident.
Okay.
Coming back with his brother, coming back to England from Spain. He had just gotten married 2 weeks ago. And 3 kids. Just an awful, awful situation. And it's crushed. Liverpool won the Premier League
Right,
last
so they're
year.
like the Super Bowl champions of the Prem League, and which was, what did they start the season? Probably fifth, sixth choice.
They were third choice.
Oh, they were
but
third?
Distant,
Okay.
distant,
A distant third.
Not expected to win. He was one of the big goal scorers for them this season. Earlier this year, one of his teammates, Luis Diaz, had his father kidnapped back home in Colombia. Jeez. He honored him with his jersey while he was away. So he was, by all means, a great teammate. And there have been a lot of soccer tributes over the last couple of days for Diogo Jota.
Where did the accident happen?
I believe it was in Spain. Yeah, it was in Spain.
He's a Spaniard?
He is from Portugal.
Okay,
So right around there.
Yeah.
But just terrible, just getting married and
he was driving back or flying?
Driving back. And car accident, with his brother.
Starter on the team.
Yeah, starting, forward. So one of their goal scorers. But
it's terrible. You're just married too. That's awful. Talking about second that I'll look at, man. I got Rohan. I got a sneaky little sense of an enthusiastic tone when he talks about this year's LSU Tigers. Now, we have gotten on Kelly. He is, he's taken over a program that only two in the history of college football. Can you take over a program where the three previous coaches have won national championships at LSU, with Saban, Miles, and Orgeron, and at the U?
Yeah.
When they did it 4 in a row. It doesn't happen. Now the games, the rules are different than when he first signed, to take the job. But I mean, he's being paid enough. Figure it out, big boy.
That's right.
And he's been a little bit lazy in his hustling of the roster as well. But by all accounts, Everybody has him as the number one transfer portal class. And then what you have inheriting, you have a really good quarterback who's seasoned with experience. And it certainly appears that this is his best roster they have had. Is it a 2019 roster? No. It's probably not a 2011, maybe not a 2003. But who has those in college football right now? So anyway, but, good with a chance to be great. You got to, you've been there, and so that's why we leaned on you, but got a little bit of an enthusiastic tone from you for this LSU football season.
I think that's a fair assessment. I'm very excited because I've seen how those guys put in the work, especially excited about the quarterback and seeing him put in the work, because I firmly believe that if he goes, we go. And I know that's the mantra with a lot of teams, the quarterback produces, but it really is with us based on him coming in off of a good season last year, now coming into this one. And honestly, I don't want to see our backup quarterback unless it's in garbage time this year.
That's
so
right.
I think that he's doing everything to stay healthy, everything to build camaraderie, and I'm excited to see how he distributes that football around to these talented guys.
How much of this class would have just been, this roster would have been the same, or how much was a little bit of a spark lit under this team, this program, when you lost out on Underwood, who had been such a long-time commitment? Would it have been the same regardless, or did you have a little found money, so to speak, that we got this now that was going to him, let's distribute it, others, because the number one.
I think the hype still would have been there with the quarterback if Underwood was here. I just don't think around him he would have been surrounded by what Nuss is surrounded by right now, because you would have put so much money into the kid. So absolutely, it's exciting for the guys that's come into the program, but also the guys that were here already with the program, and they got a piece of that chip too. So everybody got their little money up a little bit, and now it's time to go play, and I think they're excited about that.
No class, Max?
Well, I just have one more second class.
Go ahead.
The American men in the Wimbledon. Fritz and Shelton, they're close. They're knocking on the door.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And because now we don't give them much of a chance if they hit a center, but we just watch center. We watched him. He should have got beat yesterday.
Ben Shelton, 22 years old, gets the Yonex Center here in the semifinals. So it's going to be a tough matchup.
This is his surface. Dog, but okay, without a doubt, his serve is his biggest weapon. And this is where a big serve can carry you deep into this tournament. It's not like the old grass, but it's still the most server friendly of the surfaces. But he's got a ways to go on the other parts of his game. He just doesn't get a whole lot of break points, and he's just got that part of his game has to develop. But he's a big, athletic, big serve guy. We talk about the Americans. A lot of times our better athletes are playing different sports. He's got an athletic. He's an athlete.
Yeah, his dad played tennis as well. Current top 10 player in the world.
He was his coach at Florida.
Correct. Yeah. And, just an exciting player, energetic, gets the crowd going. That's exciting. He had a great joke. His sister's been there for the last few weeks, said she was his good luck charm. He's been winning, obviously, and was going to have to go home for a job at Morgan Stanley. Well, he kind of bugged them and said, hey, if anybody's got some connects, let's get her off so she can stick around at Wimbledon. Sure enough, she was back yesterday. So just
So wait, what is his sister doing?
Sister's there watching, and it's been a good luck charm because it's been in the box.
Oh, okay, so she planned on like he'd be done by now.
Was going to have to go back to work this week, and kind of said, hey, can y'all keep her around? She's been my good luck charm. So
that's funny.
Dating Trinity Rodman, who's on the U.S. women's national team as well. So he's got a good bit of
Trinity better get on the move because little girls love Ben Shelton. So they love him, boy. So he is, and look, he's a showman.
Man.
He's a showman.
He is a showman.
He's a showman.
And you don't see that a lot in that sport,
right? Well, the top guy is a showman too, in Alcaraz.
And you'll see Fritz get Alcaraz. So we got two American men in the semifinals, more than likely.
Fritz did win in 4 today.
Yes, he won in 4.
So he's in the quarterfinals, final 8.
Semifinal.
Oh, semis.
They both.
Well, that's his first semi ever for a Grand Slam. Taylor Fritz, right?
He's made it before.
Or the first semi in Wimbledon.
He made it to he made it to the final in the U.S. Open last year.
Okay. There you go. Outstanding. So second class that as well. All right. What are we looking at in no class?
No class. I mean, we've said this before, but the Pirates. I mean, Paul Skeens, he's gotten 1 win in his last 13 starts. In those 13 starts, his ERA is 1.72. 1.72
Lack
ERA.
of support, Ro.
Oh, they not touching the ball, baby. Oh my God.
Were shut out Sunday. They were shut out Saturday. They were shut out Friday. They went to Seattle for a 3-game weekend set and did not score a run. For the Seattle Mariners, who have been around, I think, since the 70s, okay, so 50 years or so, that is the first series that Seattle pitching has shut out their opponent ever. So this is he's in the All-Star team. He may be the All-Star starter. Because he was last year, they kind of might affect their decision this year. He should be the starter, but his numbers are the best. And you see some guys with some shaky win-loss records that all 5 in the ERA, top 5 ERA, all of them are all-star pitchers. But, man, and they've got the chance, and they got and he's being a class act. But this is getting old. And getting old real quick. Real quick.
Specifically in his last 11 starts, 1.34 ERA, 1-3 record.
Oh my
1-3. His last 2 starts notable because he's only gone 88 and 78 pitches despite having a shutout going. 5 innings, no earns. So it seems like they're spending a little less. Lowering his pitch count a little bit. There was some speculation that maybe they're lowering his pitch count so he can pitch in the All-Star game, which would be another no class if they're doing that in the middle of the season.
You weren't about the wrong thing.
Exactly.
Wait, what are they doing?
There was some speculation that they've lowered the pitch count his last 2 starts so that he would be timed well to go in the All-Star game.
Because, he had the low pitch count against Mizorowski where he exited. It was like tied his shortest outing ever.
Not a great
And I think
start
he
for
only
him in
pitched
that one.
5 on Sunday, right?
He pitched 5 in his last 2 starts, despite 88 and 78
Was the other one
pitches.
against Milwaukee?
No, it was St. Louis. He had a rough outing against Mizorowski. He gave up 4 earned runs.
Right.
But
But
was a
it
short
was
start.
a lot of, he gave up the leadoff walk, but it was a lot of little infield hits and things like
sure,
that.
but he has not gone over 90 pitches in his last 3 starts. Little interesting there.
That is interesting.
Yeah, because he was right at 99, 100. Before this little stretch.
Right.
So, I mean, you don't start an inning at 90?
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. It just.
We hate telling small market teams like, hey, your players need to go to New York and LA. We see it all the time with the Pelicans and whatnot. We hate it. But this is an example. Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, we need Skeens to get out of there because they're just not going to spend money on him.
He could still win the Cy Young. And he's still the favorite, right?
Yes.
He has to be.
Yes,
he has to be. His numbers are the best. And the DeGrom year showed us that they look. The win-loss record is it's just really not that important for that award. And it used to be a big deal, but they showed us, I forget what year, it was about 8 years ago, DeGrom had 18 games where the Mets either scored 1 or none for him. So, and this has got DeGrom written all over it.
Skeens is minus 150 over at the Queen to win the NL Cy Young. Zach Wheeler kind of coming up on him, had a 9 shutout innings.
There's some support for Wheeler to get the Cy Young. I mean, I'm sorry, the start.
The boogeyman got to get out of there.
What'd you call him?
The boogeyman. He's scary, bro. On that mound.
He is something. Just such a class guy, and part of it, his military upbringing and stuff. But he's not saying anything. But I mean,
well, who's going to have to start talking to his agent?
Livy Dunn calls him and said, "Well, how'd you do?" "Well, I didn't give up any run." "Well, that's great, huh?" "Well, how many did they score for you?" "None." "Wait, again." Again.
Livy wouldn't mind if he joined the Dodgers, so she could join up with Hollywood Isco.
Huh?
Who is that?
Andy Isco and the
Hollywood
Kardashians,
Isco. Yes.
Send him to the West Coast.
2 peas in a pod. Don't forget our friends over at Supreme Rice. They bring you first, second, no class each and every week right here on the show. And Supreme Rice, make every meal supreme. The medium grain white rice, the parboiled rice, the brown long grain rice, long grain white, the jasmine rice, and that low glycemic rice as well. Now available too, heads and tails. That's right. We got Crawfish Louisiana crawfish tails available from Supreme Rice as well. For more details, go to supremerice.com. Don't forget, it is Brian Edwards with from VegasInsider.com at the bottom of the hour. We'll come back with one more sec with Rohan and Max as we continue here from Dozy Place. Live at lunch, live at Doze, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com. This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. This is Charles Henniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And there ain't no troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody. The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Rohan, I was talking to Patrick Surtain Sr. yesterday, and, he's a secondary coach at Florida State right now, and, they're getting ready. He says, So Alabama's wide receivers are pretty damn good. Of course, the Williams kid we bust onto the scene in a big way last year, but he likes having them with that first-time starting quarterback, that first game playing at home, against and it's some of these opening week games like this, non-conference games could be on neutral site. No, this on campus.
That's exactly right.
At Doak Campbell. So, as a handicapping approach, I've always gone against some of the best quarterbacks making their first road start in a hostile environment. And he thinks they're pretty good this year, Florida State. We know how they head up and down. But the first game against Bama, they're going to be it's going to be full. It's going to be tough. Obvious, I guess, just being all the racket, that first time on the road. What was your first road start in a hostile environment?
Florida.
Was it Florida?
Yeah, well, in the environment that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Florida, man.
Yeah.
It's one thing to hear, right? To hear about the environment and hear about the players and hear about the noise factor and all that. And then, when you're at your place, they blaring it through the speakers and so on and so forth. But, bro, until you get to that site and and you get to hear all that craziness and the fans and all the chatter and all the name calling and all that. And then, in the swamp, everything was so tight.
Well, they have the student section directly behind, directly behind the visiting bench, so they get a little rough, to say the least.
You get everything on you: beer, water, everything. You know what I mean? So for me, that was it. And I've been in Doak.
Do you know what the Saban's press conference where you bring these little terms up every now and then as far as catastrophe syndrome with the fan base. Oh, it's going wrong. Everything's supposed to, no, you got to fight through adversity. But you know what term he came up with in that Florida game, 2000?
What was it?
I was there. The brook trout look.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I said, what? And he goes, well, you ever catch that brook trout and you look at it and you got that wide eyes?
Yeah. That's what it is. Because you're not used to it. You're not used to it. I know for me personally, and then for me, it was going back there, being from Florida, and then going there, of always hearing about it, and now seeing it for the first. I know I had that brook trout look first quarter for sure, because, Coach, you cannot. There's no way you could imitate that at home and here in Baton Rouge.
Right.
So it's not until you get there, and then you're shocked. You're shocked by it until you got to get over and play ball now.
How is Nussmeier more seasoned? I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine going into Clemson.
I think
so.
Yeah. I think he's going to be fine going into Clemson. I think the team's going to be fine going into Clemson. Clemson, even though it's Death Valley, it's not the mystique that say a Tiger Stadium or the Swamp or Ohio. Some of these places that you hear about, Tennessee, some of these places you hear about. I'm sure they're going to be charged up because of where they're going to be ranked and the expectations going into this year for them. But Nussmeier, no pressure.
I can tell you, I know some people at Clemson, and just having that SEC team and a team that's accomplished some things.
Yep.
They go back to that Peach Bowl, that New Year's Eve game, where that win on the last second field goal against LSU is sort of a springboard for their national success. They're in SEC. They're in the SEC footprint, geographical footprint. Their fan base is kind of like an SEC fan base. So no, they're excited about having a chance at beating an SEC heavyweight.
Oh, yeah, no
coming
doubt.
in, Max.
Yeah, my concern is not with Nussmeier and the skill players in that opener. It's specifically the offensive line.
Yeah.
This is probably the best defensive front that LSU will play all season.
Ding,
that Clemson
ding,
has
ding.
Are they
coming
supposed to
back.
have a good defensive front?
Oh, yeah, Coach.
Amazing.
Really?
They
they're
front
talking
seven?
About,
Really?
they're talking about NFL level guys.
It
for the
goes
first time
back
in a while.
to when they had that group
Oh,
probably
no,
like
they
5 or
can't
6
be
years
that
ago.
good. They
No.
can't be that
Coach,
good.
they close. But think about it. You're putting that group up. They in the top 7, in their front 7 right now in starters, they probably have 3 first-rounders. Legit first-rounders.
Really?
Yes, sir.
This is the best front they'll play all year.
And think about you starting 3 new offensive linemen to go up against these. Now, they did tackle. I don't remember his name. He's a stud. He's possibly a top 10 pick. The backers, phenomenal. I agree with Max. This is the best front that we'll probably face. Now I don't know what
because
the rest of the SEC
you know
looks like.
nobody has been affected in a negative way about sort of changing the rules than Clemson.
Yeah, because Dabo's.
Well, he was very slow to evolve and adjust, but also they had finally figured it out the old way. Hey, this compliance lady, let's give her a promotion. Just get her out of there, okay? Let's get her out of there, okay? Iptay, that's nice. We got to borrow money, and it was Radakovich, the former co-assist AD at LSU, who went over there and kind of got them. So they had to do it internally. They did it with their fundraising arm. Their Iptay is their Tiger Athletic Foundation. So, and man, they started, and he started bringing them in, Jack. I mean, what are all in the last 20, 25 years, whatever, all the SEC teams that won national championships, that front seven can play.
Yeah.
That front seven was the best. Well, they hit it. They did it when as an ACC team, but they had that SEC roster.
Right. Yes.
Okay. That even Jimbo's
like
team at Florida State.
Jimbo's
team at Florida State had that SEC recipe to the biggest and they were I mean they went toe to toe with Bama, and then they beat the tar out of them a few times, and so they were right in the middle of Saban's run.
Got a lot of returning starters. The latest ESPN mock draft from Matt Miller has T.J. Parker, the defensive end for Clemson, number 3 overall.
Yeah.
I mean, they are returning a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball. So to me, what I'm looking for here, coming down the stretch as LSU returns and practice and whatnot, keep the offensive line healthy so they're familiarizing themselves with that first unit. We've seen before a guy gets banged up, misses some practices.
Moving them around.
Now you're moving guys around. They got to stay together throughout this
New
process.
offensive line, them being on the road with the calls. You got a lot of sight, a lot of shotgun maybe.
A lot of built in. Especially
to ease that.
That's exactly right. You got it. Offensively for LSU, they have to put the onus on the guys that are seasoned and put the onus on the backs, the quarterback, and the wide receivers until these guys up front gets like you just talked about some kind of continuity up front. So whether it's like you point out, Jimmy, side adjust, they come bring it off quick, point out, make the scheme real simple for them for blocking wise, and put it on us. Hey, these two guys come side adjust. Same thing to this side. But don't put it on them to make all the calls up front right now. Let them get going a little bit, get out of the Clemson game, reevaluate, and now see where we go and how they did with that. But for now, put the onus on us and those seasoned wide receivers.
I agree. You got quick passes. You got speed, and you got running backs who can maybe catch the ball as well.
Yes. Speaking of Klubnik, and sometimes we can overemphasize what we saw last. We call it in handicapping recency bias all the time. But Klubnik was very good in the playoff game against Texas. But there's been some inconsistencies. He was highly recruited coming out of the state of Texas and had just some growing pains, which is very normal. He does give you a little dual threat. He can run it, and that's where he was really making his impact plays. I mean, I think he had like the 45-yard TD run to win it in the fourth quarter with just minutes to go up at Pitt. So Klubnik taking the next step. What do you see in him? What do you like? What you don't like?
I like the mobility. I like the mobility factor when it comes to him. I want to see this year, can he get more consistent in the passing game? Can we get more consistent in the pass game? And also, can we go through our progression and go from 1 to 2 instead of 1 to eyes all over the place and taking off?
You guys got to run. We appreciate it. Certainly one more time, but, you remember everybody that's at something like yesterday. So I appreciate both of you guys being there.
Oh, man, no problem, brother.
Max, you too.
Brother. For sure.
Gotta be there.
Of course. Love,
but they said, be nice to Max. Like my mom would tell my dads in front of players. We like when Miss Ott would come around. She would calm your dad down.
And then she leave.
Yeah. Thank you, fellas. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com for windows, doors, siding, and shutters. So again, and speaking of those windows, does your homeowners association require wood windows like mine? Well, you got to get the ones that are going to be functional, they're going to look good, and they last as well with these extreme South Louisiana weather conditions. And the reason is they're made with RLS wood. Gel-Win windows come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rot, termites, providing you years of beautiful beauty and minimal maintenance. Again, when you're going through a house, you're building a home, or you're doing some things, a little bit of a balance, or kind of a little bit of a tug-of-war between the builder, who wants things to last, and the architect, who wants things to look good, and you get the best of both worlds with Relief Windows. I speak firsthand. Got 2 sets of windows that from Relief Windows as well. Give them a call, 288-8138, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. Live at lunch, live at Doe's, 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Doe's Eat Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with a sriracha glaze. For the perfect blend of sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong also with the flash-fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Doe's Eat Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Grostead, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Grostead exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino.
Have you been arrested or even issued a traffic ticket? Everyone makes mistakes. Hi, I'm Dana Brown from the law offices of O.C. Brown. If you find yourself in an unfortunate situation with the law, call us today and we can help you resolve your problem, whether it's just a traffic matter or something more serious. No criminal matter is too big or too small for us to aggressively and effectively represent you. Before making any decisions, call us at 225-343-1111 for your free consultation. You can also visit us at ocbrown.com. The law offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Doe's Eat Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit Ruffino'sRestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Thanks again to Max and Rohan for subbing in. Rohan will be with us again tomorrow, me and Max tomorrow at Modesto on Burbank for tomorrow's show. Charlie with a much-deserved week off, enjoying the beach. Let's go down to the beach. 30A, my man Brian Edwards, and I'm not jealous of much in my life, but I'm jealous of living on 30A. I got to tell you, that's a good living, brother. How you been, Brian?
I've been great, Jimmy. Thanks for having me. It's good down here, but you would not have been jealous of the 4th of July traffic at
Man, my dad's funeral services were yesterday, and a lot of people who kind of came back from the beach, and they're like, how was it? Like an ant pile. So, yes, a 4th of July extended weekend. Yes, you got your fair share of traffic. Just before we get into some of the individual games, some of the plays you have, win totals, your overall, your general feel of looking at the SEC for this 2025 season.
Well, I'd say we got a lot of new starting quarterbacks. I would say that's one of the bigger things. I mean, other than Nussmeier and Lagway, and also at A&M with Marcel Reed, pretty much. And Diego Pavia as well. But a lot of especially the top teams, are breaking in new QBs. Certainly Georgia, Texas, and Alabama, and Ole Miss as well. Now, obviously, South Carolina's got Sellers back, but a lot of that top tier group in Tennessee as well are breaking in new quarterbacks and. We'll see. I mean, I thought Gunnar Stockton, they didn't lose that game against Notre Dame because of him last year, but I mean, I don't have him ranked in my top half of my SEC quarterbacks. And I only point that out just because Georgia's, been at the top of the SEC the last few years. And then Alabama, I mean, we just haven't, Ty Simpson has not gotten a lot of playing time. So we'll see on him. And, so I would say the QB, and I think Austin Simmons is going to be good at Ole Miss, but not much experience there as well.
Does that add to the parity this year because you have teams like Vandy, Arkansas, and South Carolina with pretty good quarterbacks returning? Does that kind of move them up a little bit and drag some of the more higher expectation programs down?
Possibly. I mean, I think that Georgia – I'm not sold on Georgia this year, and I'm not necessarily as sold much on Arch Manning either. I mean, we've seen him, show that he's a really good runner, but like one of his couple starts last year, the Mississippi State game, that was a bad Mississippi State team, and that was like a 3-point game with a minute or two left in the second quarter. So, I mean, I need to see more of Arch Manning throwing the ball, I'm saying in general, just to have a lot of confidence in betting Texas.
I was floored that was his role last year. He's not a Tim Tebow, okay? Like Tebow was a short yardage specialist, his freshman year. He's not that. He anticipates making all of his money with his arm. I would be very surprised. And I think it was on a design run where he got banged up a little bit against Ohio State in the Superdome as well. All right, let's get to some of the win totals, and let's start with Vanderbilt and Diego Vanderbilt. He's back, so he got his extra year of eligibility, and kind of maybe a little momentum of sorts with the Vanderbilt Commodores. You like the over 5.5?
Yep, and there's probably still some more books at 4.5, but it's heavily juiced on the over at 4.5. I prefer it at 5.5 to get plus 140 because I think they're going to win at least 6, possibly 7. Now, look, every time you bet a season win total over, you got to cross your fingers your QB is going to stay healthy, and I would say that's even more the case with Diego Pavia. But, look, he took a lot of hits last year, and he didn't miss any time last season. I'll get to the schedule in a second. That's one of the main reasons. But they only gave up 23.4 points per game last year. Now, that's not super-duper elite, but for Vandy, that's really elite. They usually give up between 35 and 38, and they've got 8 starters coming back from that group, including their top 3 tacklers, 4 of their top 6 tacklers. And you look at the schedule, they've got Charleston Southern, Georgia State, and Utah State from non-conference at home. I think they win all 3 of those. They've got they've got Kentucky at home when Vandy is coming off a bye. So I think that's the 4th W there. I think they've got a great chance to win at Virginia Tech in week 2. And then they have Auburn and Missouri at home. And you look at the Hugh Freeze, Diego Pavia rivalry, if you will. Pavia is 3-0, both straight up and against the spread, and the combined score has been 97-31. He was a 26-point underdog at New Mexico State going to Jordan-Hare 2 years ago, and they won 31-10. He won at Liberty as a 24.5-point underdog, and last year won as a 7.5-point underdog at Auburn. So I think they get either one of those two out of Auburn and Missouri. And, at South Carolina is not a guaranteed loss. I think they're going to get at least 6, maybe 7.
All right, let's look at and listen. That's a legitimate concern about the health of Pavia, because one of the things that makes him really good, he is fearless when he cuts that corner, man, on the keeper. I mean, he's not a huge guy, but he just runs. He runs hard, man. I mean, he hits it. He's very aggressive with that football in his hand, but he has stayed healthy. He has stayed healthy, so we will see. Let's go to the Kentucky Wildcats. And one of the games that you're looking at, and you talked about it, getting Kentucky for Vanderbilt and getting them at home, but getting them after a bye week as well, deep into the season. You're not so high on Kentucky, period. You like their under, which is a low number at 4.5.
Yeah, but they won only 4 last year, and I don't think they're anywhere near as good as they were last year. They're going with Zach Calzada at QB. I mean, look, maybe they hit on a bunch of these transfers. They did get 6 4-star transfers, but they better hit on all of them, because they lost a lot of studs from a really good defense, but they were pitiful offensively last year. They're not going to be as good on the O-line as they have been in recent years, and this thing just seems to be going a little south on Stoops, and the schedule doesn't do them any favors.
Right.
I mean, I think they beat Eastern Michigan at home. I don't think that the Toledo game at home in week 1 is a guaranteed W. In fact, I bet Toledo plus 11.5. They're probably the best team in the MAC, and they gave out a pimp slap in Starkville last year, 41-17 to Mississippi State. And you just look at Kentucky's schedule. I mean, I don't think they beat Texas at home. I don't think they beat Tennessee at home. I don't think they beat Florida at home, and I don't think they're going to win at Louisville. I think they're probably a 3-9 or a 4-8 team, so I'll go under on the Cats.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Their home games were the only ones they have a chance to be favored in, and they're not going to be favored in against Ole Miss, Texas, Tennessee, or Florida. So that tells you they're underdogs in all 8. Conference games.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And, yeah, they'll start off with Toledo and Eastern Michigan, and they should win those games. There's a chance they won't. But then they go to Louisville. They're going to be an underdog in that game as well. So what is shelf life for Stoops over in Lexington? It's kind of he is, he's got a great contract over there, but it's kind of leveled off for him a little bit as of late.
Yeah, look, Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job in general, but it seems to be heading south. I'm not sure on all the details of the contract. I think what would probably be best for them is if he just went and grabbed another job, like in an ACC or a Big 12 school after this year. Maybe that'll end up being the case. We'll see.
We're talking to Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com, on Twitter at VegasBEdwards, at VegasBEdwards. So your team, they showed signs, and it was funny. We had Rohan Davey here earlier, and Rohan, we talked about this. We were doing shows on Sunday for the Beau Rivage last football season. We said, Billy Napier's probably not going to survive, but damn it, these guys have not quit on him. They have not quit on him. They got Lagway healthy just enough. That was a big blow, losing him in that Georgia game. Georgia was on the ropes, man. That was a 50-50 game until he got knocked out. And now he is around. And Lagway has something to build upon. But then again, he has to improve as a passer because that Tulane game was certainly ugly. But he has all the leadership intangibles and kind of that it factor. And he was a big impact, whether he was in and out of the lineup last year for the Gators.
Yeah, his stats don't pop off the screen, and you noted there the Tulane. He had 2 horrible interceptions against Tulane. One of them in the end zone that cost me my first half bet that I was not happy about. But look, his
Sorry,
overall
Brian.
stats don't pop. Right? You always remember those, don't you? his stats don't pop off the page, but the one stat that is very good is he went 6-1 as a starter, and like you mentioned, they were up 7 and had the ball on Georgia late in the second quarter when he had that injury. Look, this is Napier's best teams. I mean, Phil Steele's national unit rankings have them 10th at QB, which I don't think is high enough, 14th at running back, 18th receiver, 5th O-line, 10 D-line, 25 linebacker, 10th in the secondary, 13th in special teams. So, I mean, look, he won 4. They had a lot of momentum from last year. Everybody seems to be saying the schedule is super brutal again. And but I don't know that that's the case, because most of these teams are breaking in new QBs, with the exception of A&M and LSU, and then South Florida in non-conference. Pretty much everybody has got new QBs. So look, the total's 7.5. I like it over. You should be able to get about a plus 110 there. I think if Lagway's healthy, I think they can win 9. And if one of those, if they get the Georgia or Texas game, and Georgia and Texas are top 10 teams like I assume they'll be, maybe even top 5, I think with 9 wins, depending on how everything shakes out everywhere else, they might be able to sneak into the CFP, which you might be able to get around plus 400. Not against that. I also love the Gators at home to Tennessee in games of the year, -3. The Gators are 17-3 straight up, 15-5 against the spread, the last 20 against the Vols. The Vols have not won at Florida since 2003, and I don't know why that number is only 3. That would make you think the odds makers think Tennessee's got a better roster, which I don't agree with, especially with the QB situation there. And I'm not against Florida as long as you can get 7 against Texas in games of the year as well. I like that.
What's your thoughts on the placement in the schedule of that Tennessee game? It's the second to last week of the season, where it's always been sort of that September rivalry, one of the bigger rivalries early in the season. But in November 22nd, the 11th playing date on the schedule for Florida.
Well, it just kind of scares me. I have 2001 nightmares because of 9/11.
Yes.
The Gators game got pushed back to be on like December 1st or so against Tennessee, and the Gators lost that one. So, yeah, you're right. It's normally mid-late September, and that's what I'm accustomed to, and that normally helps Florida because of the brutal heat in September. So I'd rather it not be in November, but I still like the Gators now.
I remember watching it on campus, getting ready to go into the Auburn-LSU game that was moved back as well. And, of course, and that was at the Swamp that Tennessee went down there and won. And, well, Rohan Davey knows that one well as well, because the whole team had all the orange roses as they pulled up into the bus for the Georgia Dome. Speaking of the Georgia Dome or the Mercedes-Benz Dome, what's your thoughts about Georgia Tech for the first time in my memory getting off of campus and going to a neutral site?
Yeah, playing where the Falcons play, and that probably advantaged Georgia to get a lot more of their fans in there. Nevertheless, I like Georgia Tech plus 13.5 in that game, and I like Georgia Tech in general this year. I think Haynes King was terrific. He struggled with turnovers when he was at A&M, but last year 14-2 TDI&T ratio and 11 rushing touchdowns, 587 rushing yards. They're plus 13.5 to Georgia in that game. I like Georgia Tech there. They've been incredible as an underdog under Brent Key, 15-6 against the spread with 11 outright wins. And as a double-digit dog, only 9-6 against the spread, but 6 outright wins as a double-digit dog. Should have won in Athens last year. So I'm all about Georgia Tech plus 13.5 in that regular season finale.
Yeah, Black Friday, great one, man. A classic last year downtown. In Athens, but Georgia Tech almost pulled off the upset. Man, look, Brian, we can go on, and we got some more, and so we'll get you on another time. But we're out of time for today. Again, at Vegas B. Edwards, VegasInsider.com. I mean, he's all right, man. I shared a cabana at Stadium Swim with this guy before. He's a good guy for a Gator. Good guy for a Gator. Brian, thank you, man. Great stuff as always.
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. Rest in peace to your pops, and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Don't forget our friends at Workbox. Movable storage needs, commercial, residential, shipping containers of all different sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20. 8 by 40 feet. Most come with one standard size, not workbox. Man, you whatever you want to do, you convert them into a custom lunchroom, with custom work sites for welders, plumbers, etc. Safety storage. You got to go near the plant. You need all of that safety to reach all your safety guidelines. Customized, you can do part office, part storage, whatever it is, climate control, shelving, lighting, you name it. And Workbox is bigger and better than ever, reaching all the way down to the Gulf Coast, New Orleans, all the way through Baton Rouge to Lake Charles. So our second office at Workbox, and our great staff as well. Of course, the constant Martine Sr., his son Martine Jr., his daughter Hannah, Brandy, and my buddy Chris Brooks. Workbox and WorkboxLLC.com, 343-4886. We'll come back and wrap things up on this Tuesday edition. Live at lunch, live at Doe's Eat Place on Government Street in the heart of Mid-City on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on.
Jordan, you want to do that spot? Promo?
Yes, sir. Hold on.
Let's see, Modesto.
Just let me know whenever you're ready.
1 second. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. It's rolling.
Join me, Jimmy Ott, Rohan Davey, and Max Gotro for the Tuesday. Sorry, that's going to be Wednesday. Join me, Jimmy Ott, Charlie's gone.
Little rusty.
Join me, Jimmy Ott, Rohan Davey, Max Gotro. We're live at Modesto. Modesto Tacos, Tequila, Whiskey. It's the Wednesday edition of Live at Lunch, live at Modesto, right here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis Original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Text Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games. Just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com. This is Charles Hanniger for Total Maintenance. Now is the time to get your AC cleaned and checked before those sweltering temperatures arrive. Ensure your unit is performing at max efficiency, lower your monthly bills, and prolong the life of your central air conditioner. Right now, mention my name or Jimmy Ott and get $100 off that service. Down from $179 to $79. Call Total Maintenance for generators, electricity, and plumbing issues. In Baton Rouge, 480-1000, and in New Orleans, call 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Live at lunch with Ott and Annie from Doe's Eat Place on Government Street on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Carlos Alcaraz takes care of the British product, and TCU Horned Frog, Norrie in straight sets, 2, 3, and 3. We mentioned earlier Taylor Fritz is in the semifinals as well. He wins in 4, 7-6 in the fourth over Kachanov. He won 6-3, 6-4, 1-6, and 7-6. Arina Sabalenka had to go to a third set. She dropped the first set to Sigamund, and Sigamund is the junk baller from Germany, the 37-year-old that just drove Madison Keys, batty. And that she just made her look so bad in that earlier round. I believe that was Saturday or Sunday. But Sabalenka took care of her in a third set, 6-4 in the third set. That was on center court earlier. Anisimova advances out of the women's side as well. We got Major League Baseball, a full schedule. We will have some Otter Locks that resumes today at the end of match show. So we will look at that. It is all-night action, a full night in Major League. So the first game doesn't start till 5:35. That's the Mets that go to Camden Yards to take on Orioles. 30? Sweeps were in vogue this past weekend. I think about 4 games over 500, some sweeps, including some big ones like Baltimore. I bet the Astros going to Chavez Ravine and winning as well. Thanks to all of our guests, of course, Max and Rohan sitting in for Charlie this weekend, Brian Edwards from VegasInsider.com, Andy Iskoe from Las Vegas, of course, Jordan Kitchens pushing all the right buttons. Hunt Palmer's up next right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Hanniger for
All right, Jimmy, have a good one.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it, buddy. And thank you again for the kind words.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem. Have a good one, man.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Annie is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generator.